Hello, this is Mr. B. I just want to go over the coordinate plane with you all, and it's probably something that you're already familiar with. Perhaps you saw this in previous years, and you've maybe even learned how to practice plotting the points on a coordinate plane. But I want to go over all of the vocabulary with you and also how to plot points so we are all on the same page. So some of this may be some review, and some of this may be new. And just some practice for you all as well. Okay, let's start off with some of the terms you're going to have to know. So what I'd like for you to do is fill out this sheet that you have right here. You should have this sheet in front of you. We're just going to fill it out together. We're taking notes, so this is for you. It's not for me. It's not something you're going to turn in. These are your notes to help you remember what they are. So in the top left up here, top left corner, we're just going to put down the terms that we need to know. So go ahead and write down terms. This is the vocabulary. You need to know what these things are. So write these down. We're not going to write definitions or anything. We're going to do that on the other side. But you need to know what the quadrants are. And these right here. You need to know what the x-axis and the y-axis is, where to find those. And this, of course, coordinates. Also, we call them this, an ordered pair. They're in order. We call them an ordered pair because they're in order, and there's two of them, so they're a pair. Here's another word we need to know, the origin. So let's go over on the other side over here, on the right side, the top right, and figure out where these things are. So let's start with quadrants. So the coordinate plane is basically two number lines. So we're already familiar with a number line. So if we just imagine this right here, we have a number line, we have 0, we've got integers, we've got fractional numbers in between here. So maybe this is split into fourths or thirds or something. And when we plot a point on a number line, like if I wanted to plot -1 and 3/4, we just put a point on there, don't we? So we'd say we'd pass the -1 on our way to -2. That would be where -1 and 3/4 are. So we're just basically putting a point on the line. Well, now we have two number lines. So we can move around a little bit better on a flat space. We have here's our, well, we'll start with the x-axis. This is the x-axis. So the word axis is just a fancy word for number line. So the x-axis is right here. Go ahead and label that on your paper. And then the y-axis is going to be this line right here. This is just a number line. It's like a vertical number line, much like we use with thermometers, and elevation, where we saw above the sea level and below the sea level. So that's our vertical number line right there. Two number lines allow us to move in two-dimensional space right here. So not only can we plot a point on, like right here, right on the x number line like we did right here, we can also plot a point up in one of these four sections over here. We could plot points anywhere on this flat space because we can move left and right, and we can also move up and down according to the y-axis. So let's go ahead, and we've got our axes label here. So by the way, plural for axis is axes. So whenever you hear your teacher say, locate the axes, that's a plural word, right? So because we have two number lines like this, we have four sections. We have this section right there, that flat space. We have this section, and it splits the flat space into four equal sections, and we call those the quadrants. So the prefix quad means four, like a quadrilateral. Quad means four. So here is the quadrants. You must memorize the quadrants. Quadrant number 1 is right there. That's our quadrant 1. You might be saying, well, why do we have that as quadrant 1? That's kind of a weird place to put the first quadrant. Wouldn't it be on the bottom or something? That's quadrant 1 because if you recall from elementary school, think way back, when you looked at a number line, they started like this, and it always started at 0 because in elementary school they didn't do with negative numbers, and then they had 1, 2, 3, 4, and then if we had a positive number going up, the other number line would be going up like this, positive numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. So this is what you're used to seeing in the elementary school, with positive numbers going this way and positive numbers moving upwards. Positive here, yeah. And So that's our first quadrant. That's the first quadrant that we've ever been familiar with. Now we're extending the number line in this direction for negative numbers, and also we're extending the y number line down for negative numbers down there. So below, going down, is negative numbers. Going to the left, we get into negative numbers, and now we have 4 quadrants here. So that's why quadrant 1 is there, and then we're just going to move around like I always think of it like this, like we're drawing the letter C, like that, a big capital C for coordinate plane. So here's 1, and the next one on the way is going to be here. That's quadrant 2, and as we move around, there's quadrant 3, and here's quadrant 4. We use Roman numerals like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can number them in Arabic numerals, or 1, 2, 3, 4, however you want. So memorize those. That's how the order of the quadrants move along. Let's take a look at ordered pairs. An ordered pair are just 2 numbers. We put them in parentheses. Don't forget parentheses. Always put parentheses around an ordered pair. And then we put the x coordinate first. In other words, where is a point along the x number? I'm just going to use 6 as an example. So 6, the first number is the x coordinate, and the second number is the y coordinate. So label these like this. Label it so you can really see it well. X, y. It's always in that order, x, y. This is also called an ordered pair. So these are the coordinates, and this is called an ordered pair because they're in order. X first, y second. So let's talk about how to find where 6, -3 is. Let's take a look at this corner right over here. In the bottom left-hand side, here's step 1. So let's do 6, -3. Step 1 is find the x coordinate. Find the x coordinate along the axis here. So starting at the origin, always start here at the origin. Now don't mark it. I'm putting a mark so you can see that that's where I'm starting right here, but I don't really want to mark up my paper with the origin right there. So starting at the origin, I'm going to move to the +6 on the x number line. So you want to ask, do I move to the right or do I move to the left to find 6? Well, if this is 0, if this right here, that's where I am. If that's 0, 6 is going to be to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's where I have ended up right here. Now I'm not going to mark on my paper. I marked it there so you can see where I am, like the steps I'm taking. So I'm at 6. Now I want to go to -3 on the y number line. That means I'm going to either move up or I'm going to move down. Where do we go for negative numbers? Do I go up or do I go down? So let's move down. -1 is right there. -2 is right there. Yeah, that's a bad spot. -1, -2, -3. That's where I stop, and that's where I'm going to put my point. So really, none of these other places here. I shouldn't have marks here. I want to just have a mark right there. But that's how I moved. I started here, and I said, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, going down. That's -1, -2, -3. That tells me on the y-axis, there's -3 on the y-axis, and you can see that it's lined up right there at -3. This is +6 on the x-axis, so it's lined up to show me where +6 is right there. But I don't want to mark all this stuff up here. Just keep that one point right there. All right. So step 1, find the x coordinate. Step 2, find the y coordinate. You're going to go up or down. Left or right is over here. And then the last step is just place a point. You're going to follow the x. You're going to follow the y, place a point. Okay. So what some people will do is just find out where it is on the x, find out where it is over here on the y, like that. So there's the x, there's the y, and then look for the intersection. If you move over like that, that's where they intersect. Okay, let's do one more here just to give us another example. Let's do this right here. Get out of there. All right. Let's do the point -5, 6. -5, 6. Okay. So you see if you can find out where that is. Okay. Starting at the origin, starting in the middle, let's go to -5 on the x. So I'm moving left and right. I'm going to go to the left. -1, -2, 3, 4, 5. I'm right here. I'm right here now. And now I'm going to move 6. Am I going to go up or down? Positive numbers are up. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should land right there. That's 5, 6 right here. I just want to get rid of that point right there. Okay, so that's how we plot our points. It's just start at the origin, move to the left or right, then move up or down, and then place your point. I should say start at origin up here. Why don't you write that down up here? Start at origin, very important. Okay, now I'm going to have some that you try on your own, and then you can check your answers. Okay, I'm going to put this here. The numbers to plot. These are your practice problems right here. So go ahead and plot those points on this number line here on your last section, last quadrant of your paper here, and we'll check our answers. So go ahead and pause this video right here and continue. All right, hopefully you got all your points down. Let's check them out. 4, 7. I'm going to start here 4. All right, there's 4, 7. -3, -4 is there. -3. And then I go down 4. And then -8, 7. I go right there. 0, -5. That means on the x-axis, I'm going to go to the 0. So I'm moving left or right to the 0. Where's the 0? I'm on the 0. So I don't move anywhere. So remember, my x number is 0. That means I'm already on the 0. Now I have to move to -5 on the y, which is going down right there. Now let's try 6, 0. So I'm going to move to 6. That's me making my little, and then I go up and down 0. So I'm on 0 on the y-axis. If I look at this number line right there, that's where 0 is. So I want to stay on the 0. And now 5, -9. So we'll go. Okay, those are where your points should be plotted. If you got all those, you did a very good job. Excellent job. Remember where the quadrants are, know your x and y axis and the order, and you are ready to practice and go to the next level. All right, take care. Bye-bye.